What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the StonerDays Potcast. I'm Berns. Joining me today, Holiday Berns in the house. Welcome, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Also, just want to start off number one with just thanking you for the positive message you continue the positive messages you continue to put out every single day for the followers, man. I just
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just nice to wake up to be able to have those dope things to listen to in the morning, man. You're just you're how do you say it? Just like a breath of fresh air for the community, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, because I'm definitely not a tall glass of water.
How long have you been doing like those messages as a daily thing, as a routine?
I've been posting them for about like 2 years, but since the pandemic, I started like tagging my friends. Because I've had a couple of friends who told me, "Hey, send these to me and I'll repost them." And I was just like, nobody wants to see this shit. Like, this is what I'm doing for myself. Like, nobody cares, you know? But come to find out, I mean, of course, everybody should know, like, if you think you're having a bad day, which is not a real thing, that's just an opinion. But just know somebody else too is going through the same thing you are going through. And like, we forget that as humans. So then I also forgot that. And I was like, oh, I go through this shit. I'm not the only person with anxiety. I can't be the only person working on myself, you know?
Right. Right. I think it's relatable for a lot of people when they hear it, because it's for some people more than others, of course. But it's every morning there's somebody that's getting captivated by the words that you're putting out there to give them that extra positive push. And I mean, fuck, especially for the community that you're doing it for as well too. A lot of us people that are high as fuck in the morning are just that gives us like a different type of lift.
And that was another thing too. Like, people think that I came from, like the cannabis community, but like, I didn't. I make clothing and I design clothing. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
that's what I do. And yes, I do smoke, but I mean, I've been doing that since I was a child. Like,
Yeah.
literally since I was like, the first time I ever smoked, I was 9 years old. And then like, by the time I was like 12, 13, I was already like, okay, well, I got to get a quarter of weed because there's 7 days in a week. And like, I smoke a gram a day. And like, now at
Yeah.
34, it's like tripled that. But I'm very happy to be like welcomed into like another community, because like in the gaming community, like I'm in there. It's really, not that hard. Everybody's playing video games. You kind of have to play video games, but like, you don't want to smoke with everybody.
No, that I would say it's more easier to do it online the way that everybody's been doing it, as opposed to meeting people or like inviting people, or like I wouldn't want a whole bunch of fucking random people showing up to my house to smoke with them.
Well, even just online, like even in your like, say like, like whenever I go live, there are people that come in. I'm like, I don't know them, so I don't want to, I don't want the first interaction to be weird. But like,
Mhm.
okay, so these people that have like, I guess best example, people with a larger following that's in the cannabis community, like reach out to me and they're like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, like you see me over here? Like, okay. But like, oh, you want to go live and smoke with me? Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not really a people person. I have like real bad
Yeah.
anxiety. So like, being welcomed into a community, because like, most people get into the community by just like posting and posting and posting and posting and posting and posting and building their page around this one thing. My page
Right.
is none of that. And like, I'm still welcomed in. And like, even by the companies too, like Stoner Days and like a few other companies like work with me too. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not even in this community, and like this community still wants to work with me. It's
Right.
great.
It is great. When did you start feeling the transition of like doing gaming and like making clothes and doing and the cannabis part happening? When did you start noticing there was a mixture of all of this happening together?
This year.
This year? Is it like
just
as
just because um Well, this year I've noticed that like it's full force, but it's been slowly. Like I started making clothes first. Like 2012 was making clothes. That was the only thing I did on the internet. I didn't really have any personal stuff. So it was just my company and I was just promoting my company.
Right.
And
What's the name of your
then
company again?
Burn Crew.
Burn Crew.
Bernqrue.
Burn Crew.
Yeah, so I spell it super weird. Like some people they can't pronounce it or they say it wrong, but like that's what I wanted. Like I
Right.
wanted something so people would be like, I can't remember it, but I remember it.
Because they'll know when they see it, like the way it's spelled. Like that's the one,
Exactly.
dude. That's the one.
That's
It's
it. That's the one.
what was your like motivation, I guess, behind starting clothing? Like what was your motivation behind it? Like were you always into like the types of clothes that you're making, or is it something you're like I want to just try to put something new in front of people's faces?
Since I was a kid, I've been into fashion. I've loved fashion. Like I was in middle school printing out the iron-on t-shirts. Like I would make stuff on Paint. I would draw on Microsoft Paint, print that out, iron it onto a hoodie, go to school, sell the hoodie. You know, like that's what I was into. I always wanted to make clothes. I wanted to make clothes and do hair when I was a kid.
Oh
But
shit.
like my dad was just like, no, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like the time that like we grew up in, that wasn't really like an acceptable thing. Like if you were a man and you were going to do hair, you were to be a barber. I was like, no, I don't want to be a
Yeah.
barber. Like I want to like dye hair. You know what I mean? Like because I like colors. Like I want to cut
Mhm.
hair. Like I wanted more. You know, my dad just really wasn't so supportive of it. So then I kept making clothes,
Kept
and
making clothes. Well,
that was the one thing that like they're like, oh, you make clothes. Okay, everybody makes clothes. But I think he was just kind of like I think he felt that he would have been embarrassed if I would have became like a hairdresser.
right.
I
Right.
think that was the whole point about it. Because even when I was younger, I used to dye my hair, and he was like, "Boys don't dye their hair," and I'm like, yeah, we do. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I used
it
to do
doesn't
that
matter. Like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, and like my cousin Kenny, he was older than me. Like, he was in high school and I was in like middle school, and like he like shaved his head and like bleached his hair so like he could
Yeah.
dye his hair like different colors. And I was like,
That was
oh,
the
that's
time.
cool.
That was the time of like puka shell necklaces and fucking
311.
and fucking frosted tips, man, and all
Oh
that
yeah,
shit, dude. All
yeah.
the guys did that to their hair back at
Yeah,
that time.
that's the thing. It's like my dad would get mad, but my mom, when she would go get her hair done, like, dude, I had the Eminem hair, like I had my hair
Yeah,
like
yeah,
cut to a Caesar and it was bleached, and then I had this where it was like it looked like I had a bowl cut, but I didn't have a bowl cut. Just the top of my hair was bleached.
yeah. I had like I had like the all around spike like around my head that just had like the frosted tips and shit, dude. And I used to go to like fucking karate tournaments and thought I was like a Super Saiyan because I used to watch fucking I used to watch Dragon Ball Z back in the
Dude,
day,
that's
dude.
so sick.
Because it was tight, dude.
That's
It was
so
cool.
cool.
It's like when you're at those ages, especially because like the way that times always changes, people like
Yeah.
kids get more creative. They think more outside the box with their imagination, like as the
Yeah.
generations change. So at those times, it was okay to like do those kind of experiments with your hair.
You know what?
Even now,
Speaking of kids being creative, I feel like the kids these days like aren't very creative. They're all into the same brand, or you know what I mean? They all want this certain
they're
look.
trends.
And
They're into trends.
exactly. And like when we were kids, like you would not buy the same shirt that your friend had just because he had it. And
Yeah,
you're like, there's no way that I could be like you because somebody would make fun of you for
yeah.
looking like someone else. It's like
Or
I
you would
was
go to
taught to just
school.
be my own person.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember like showing up to school and like people having like the same pairs of shoes or like someone had the same shirt and they wore them on the same day or something and it was just like it was it wasn't something that was cool. Like you didn't try to follow it. It was always like a even when you went to the store and you seen it you're like, "Nah, so and so has that shit. I'm not
Yeah, I'm
fucking with
not.
that shit."
Nah.
How
But
weird. I didn't even think about that.
now I only know this just because I also do resell shoes.
Hmm.
how we were talking about the other day about the shoes on my Instagram, like those pictures I post, like I also resell them and I do these conventions where I resell them at, and like all these kids look the same. They all have the same like Jack Harlow haircut, they all got the same Yeezys on,
Yeah.
like, and they all got like the same like designer looking jeans. Like they literally all look the same. And it's
Yeah.
like crazy. Like it blows my mind. And I'm like, yo, why do you want to look like your friend? Like
Why is that? I mean, why do
there's
you think
so
people
much
want to do
out
that?
there. I don't know, but that's why I made clothing, because I wanted stuff that I wanted. And I can't you can't most of the stuff you really want, you can't buy. You have an idea of it and you'll look for it on the internet, but like you can't buy it. And if you do buy something, it's close to it. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Yeah.
like
It's not it.
I've always had like an idea of like, okay, well, I want a shirt that has this on it. Can't find it. Looks like I gotta make it.
And how
And
did you
then
start?
that's
Did you start with when you started doing your own brand? Did you start with like vinyl, screen print, DTG? Was there?
I started the first thing I made was stickers. I made stickers, and then I went to Miami and sold enough stickers for me to come home to make t-shirts, because I was like, yeah, if people will buy the stickers, people will buy the t-shirts. So then I used the sticker money to buy t-shirts. And then
Right.
that's whenever I started like making an Instagram, and then like started carrying my shirts everywhere with me. Like my online sales for the longest, like I don't know, probably like 5, 6 years, like weren't so good, because people are like, "Oh, I got to order it online." I'm like, "Yeah, you got to go online." But then I started carrying just everything with me, like in
Right.
my car, like everywhere I went. And then uh I don't know. I have like real bad anxiety. So like sometimes I think like wearing my own brand is kind of just like me being like cocky and like annoying, because like I've met people who are like, "Yo, try this brand, it's my brand." Like I know you've probably met those people too, and it's like, "Yo,
Right.
what you're doing is just not it." And I didn't want to push my brand on people. So that's
Hmm.
why I just started making clothes, and I didn't tell anybody who made them.
Right.
And then whenever I would wear the shirt somewhere, I would just tell them the website instead of being like, I make this,
That's a
just
humble way to
because of
go
like my
about it.
own self. But it's also like that was just me not having confidence in myself.
Right. Well, I mean, there's
Just
a lot to be proud of for how far you've gotten with what you've already done. So, I mean, as far as like wearing your own brand, I would never see anything like wrong with anybody rocking their own shit ever. And it's like
no, there was
I
nothing wrong with it.
there's
I
nothing
do
wrong with
it
it at
now.
all.
I do
Hmm.
it now, and like now I promote it more, but it was just like me being like self-conscious and me thinking like,
Right.
oh, people aren't gonna buy it because they know I make it. And like and you know how it is.
Yeah, I do. Before I even got into what I'm doing here, I had some similar. I was working on a project, and I was really self-conscious about telling people about it. Like even giving them a business card. Like, oh, they're probably not even gonna fucking wanna, uh, even be interested in something that I'm doing. And that whole fucking mental block is what stopped me from even progressing in what that project was, because I didn't have the confidence to want to do it. It's like, well, if I have all this self-doubt about something like this task at hand, I'm not going to excel in it. And
Exactly.
I'm really hard on myself when it comes to doing something like that. And I mean, I've learned since then though, like it's okay to have failures. It's okay to try and like fuck it up, because you don't learn if you're not fucking up, man. You got to learn from those
Exactly.
lessons.
As humans, we learn from failure and mistake. Well, we're supposed to.
Hmm.
There's some people who just don't get it. Sometimes I don't, and I'll just do it over and over and over. And I'm like, all right, fourth time. Obviously this just ain't gonna work. So this is the only thing I've learned out of this. That this ain't gonna happen. Like
Right.
this ain't a thing. This ain't for me. This is the universe just telling me, nah, this just ain't for you.
Yeah, and I don't look at those kind of like those life lessons or those eye-opening experiences as fail, like as a like giving up or quitting on something. It's just like you kind of went as far as you could with what it was or what it meant to you. So it's like sometimes you gotta move on to the next thing.
But you won't ever know what you can do unless you try.
Yeah, and that I think that's a lot of that's a big roadblock for a lot of people that are just trying to get started with anything, starting a business, trying to get into the cannabis industry, trying to be a creator, trying to make your first fucking content, trying to start up a platform for people to notice you. I think it's the first step that everyone's so scared of is that self-doubt. Like, well, what if people don't want it? And they don't ever ask the questions like, well, what if they fucking do?
There's somebody out there that does.
Somebody.
There's thousands of people that do. If you've ever just like, I don't know if you've ever just scrolled around on Twitch, but there are some people that I've like came across. I'm like, there's 30,000 people watching this right now. Are we all watching the same thing? No, you can't be watching this. No, there's no way that y'all are watching this. Like 30 30,000 people are in here. Okay.
What's the like most off the wall shit you came across on Twitch where people were actually watching, like they had a good view count and you're kind of like,
There's a guy that just streams a jar of peanut butter.
what?
It's just a jar of peanut butter. People will donate to. Yeah, that's. And then like nothing creepy, nothing weird. Just the most odd thing I've seen is a jar of peanut butter.
What do you, so like it's not him in the frame, it's just the jar
Just the jar.
doing nothing.
Just chilling.
I've seen I think there's a person that was talking about like exercise, like different exercises, like different workouts and shit, but not performing them, just like talking about it, but like explaining it and talking about it, but not showing how to do it. There's no pictures, and it was just like
That's odd, dude. Like
it's really odd, man. Like
that sounds very confusing.
that's what I think tripped me out. Why there was like so many people like
Just like a
watching that shit.
full detailed workout session.
But yeah, just explaining. Not like in cadence or calls, just explaining an exercise and how it's done, and then just it wasn't for me. I don't know why I stayed on as long as I did, but
How
it
many
wasn't for me.
people? How many people were watching?
There was 1,500, but that's still a lot for
That is
what
a
it was.
lot.
That's a
That's
lot
a lot.
for
Listen,
just someone talking.
if you have 100 people watching you on Twitch, that is a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many people on Twitch, and there's so many people on at the same time. Like, I'd probably say my favorite person to watch is T-Pain.
What does he do? He just makes music, or he's just chilling with
Dude,
his.
he's so funny, dude. Like,
T-Pain.
he's so funny. And he's just like me, like, trash at video games, but still plays them. Like, sometimes I think people just watch me play because they're just like, look how terrible this is. Like,
Oh
yo,
man,
you
I'm one
gotta
of
watch
those
this.
too.
Like, it's like a moving train wreck, and like people are just like, yo, you gotta come see this. You gotta.
Are you
Like, how's this dude just killing everybody on his own team? Like, how you get more like kills on your own team? Oh, my bad, they were just kind of in the way. Like,
yeah, dude, I'm not at all like a fucking legit like top-notch gamer, but I'll fucking play for fun. But I think one of my biggest issues is that I fucking sometimes I'll get like I'll rage if I if I feel like a loss is unfair or unjustified. I'm like, no, dude, that wasn't right. I'll have a pretty bad a rage quit, or I cuss a lot when it comes to my raging too on games.
you want to. And I'm very proud of myself. The fact that I don't have game rage. My brother, on the other hand, oh, his is so good, dude. It's so good. Like like I can hear him just like gripping his controller. And I'm like, yeah, if you had a keyboard, you would just snap it over your knee. You're that kind of
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, dude. Like at the end of rounds and shit, my controller's hot. It's not. I don't play fucking. I don't play
I play
lightly
mouse
in
and
my games.
keyboard too. I
On what
play mouse
system?
and keyboard. I
Or
play
your PC?
PC.
You play PC?
Mm-hmm.
Do you use a controller at all on PC, or you just no? And what games do you play?
Yes.
Damn.
Play Call of Duty, Fortnite, and Rocket League sometimes. I haven't
What's
played Rocket League in a while,
I've
but
never heard of that. I'm just
Rocket
not.
League is
I'm trying to get back
it's
into
like
gaming.
Carball. It's free still. It's like soccer but with cars.
Okay, I think I know what that is then.
And you can like drive on the wall, you can like fly your cars. Like it's pretty crazy. Like if you want a game that's gonna make you mad, that one's gonna do it.
No,
That
I'm not
that
looking for the ones that are gonna get under my
there's
skin,
gonna
man.
be a kid that's gonna pop the ball up one time and fly it through the air by using boost and then like score a goal and you're gonna be like, how did you do that?
Yeah, dude, I'm not even gonna fucking throw myself into that one, bro.
But no,
Fuck.
I love video games and I know that I'm not that good at them. I've been steadily playing for like 9 months now. Like I know I'm not good, so like if you know that you're not good at something and then you become like kind of good at it, then it's better that way. Most people have the problem with they're like, well, I'm fucking great at baseball, you know? I should be able
Yeah.
to play video games because I'm great at baseball. No, it's not how
No,
that
not at
works.
all. No, dude, I had some friends that are really good at guitar playing and couldn't play Guitar Hero for shit.
Really?
Yeah, couldn't play Guitar Hero to save their lives, bro, but they can fucking
That's
shred an
all
actual
like
guitar. They picked up a fucking what is it? A Rock Band controller or a fucking Guitar Hero controller, and it was
yeah.
like a fucking another language to them. Because I mean, the strings are different, the buttons and the hand positioning's kind of different, but like when you hold strings on a guitar, you're holding them in like
But
different, like weird positions and shit.
it's like rhythm.
It's kind of rhythm, but like on Guitar Hero, you're just slapping keys on a guitar. You're holding
You're
strings against
pushing
a
and
board, and you're
you're
strumming at
pushing
the
and
same time. Yeah, so you're like strumming, and then you're like lifting, and then hitting. Like it's weird, dude. But I had some buddies that couldn't do that to save their lives to play that shit.
that
Damn,
was that was a fun game.
that was a really fun game, dude. I don't know why they don't fucking continue making them, bro.
Because then Rock Band came out and I guess like I don't know. I was like that's too much. Like I get it. Like you want a whole band, but
Oh, they put
trying to
out
have
the drum set and the
yeah.
fucking mic.
I'm like I'm not trying to have that many people in my house. First of
they,
all,
they pull out a triangle on the next session of yeah the next section of fucking instruments.
it's just
Some
like a
fucking
sensor, a cowbell. That
some
would have been.
unnecessary bullshit. That's fucking
See, if they
hilarious.
would have threw the cowbell in there, then it would have been perfect. I would have just bought the cowbell.
They should have just added a lot of random shit. Anyways, I think that's what they try to do when they started doing like DJ Hero and shit. They just try to go as random
You know
on
what?
music
I
as they
completely
could.
forgot.
Remember that
I forgot
shit?
about the DJ hero. Yeah, you had the it was the you had to push it and pull like, and then there was colors.
Yeah, dude, it was like one of those Simon Says games. It was weird,
That's
bro.
looked like it was for a child's toy.
I was cool on that one. I think the Guitar Hero ones are the best. I wanted to talk to you about your tattoos, man. Like, when was your inspiration to start getting colored?
Just always wanted to be covered from like seeing bikers when I was a kid and just like my dad's friends. And then like there was this guy, I think his name's like David Tower, who had like a ship on the whole side of his face that was in like International Tattoo magazine I seen when I was a kid. But like when my parents would go to the grocery store, I would go to the magazine section. So the whole time, like while they were like shopping, I would like look at Thrasher. I'd look at like the tattoo magazines,
That's
like,
so
and I'd look
old
at like
school, dude.
yeah, yeah. I used to look at like I would grab all the Columbia Music House, like and like all
Hmm.
the 99. It's like 10 CDs for 99 cents, and I'd write like fake names on them. That's how I found
Yeah.
out about music as a kid, because I would look and be like, "Oh, it's a cool CD cover." That looks cool.
Yeah.
That looks cool. And then I would just write like a fake name on them and just like send them in. And my parents would be like, whose CDs are these? And I just like,
Dude, that's so
but
old
like,
school, man. I completely forgot
but
about going to magazine sections, bro, when parents are at the store.
yeah. So like as a kid, that's what I did. And I would see people covered in tattoos. And like, that's whenever I started seeing color tattoos because like
Mm,
hanging around like as a kid, like seeing my dad and like all his like biker, like white trash friends, like they were all like jailhouse tattoos, you know what I mean? So like there was
yeah.
like no colors. And then when I seen international, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I want to be fully covered. Like, and then whenever, 13, 14, I think it was, me and my buddy like made a tattoo machine out of a RC car. We used the battery pack so it would charge the motor and a mechanical pencil and a guitar string. And like
So,
there was like a bunch of stuff here. Like I like tattooed a star inside of a bunch of other stars right here. And then there was like an upside down cross on my arm. And like, mind you, this is me in like middle school. Like my mom was so pissed that like I did this. Like she was so mad. And then like whenever I turned 16, my dad took me to go get a tattoo and I was like, "Hey, I want this tattoo." And he was like, "Why do you want the tattoo?" And I was like, "Well, from my understanding, um, everybody's first tattoo is their worst tattoo." So I was like, "I'm just gonna go ahead and get this out of the way." And he's like, "What's so bad about it?" And I was like, "Well, it's tribal and it's religious. Like, I don't think it like gets, and bad tattoos, it doesn't get any worse than that. Like
yeah.
it's a tribal Jesus, mind you. Okay. So, so, so he was like not about that because he's like, yo, you're not gonna get a joke tattoo like for your first tattoo. I was like, why not? Like it's funny. Like I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out the way because if I go get something that I think I'm gonna like, 5 years later, I'm gonna be like, man, why did I get this? Like I'm gonna just go ahead
Get it
and
out
make
of
the
the way.
mistake on purpose. Yeah. So then he was not about it. The tattoo shop, it was like Lou's Tattoos where I grew up in Lakeland and like in like the middle of fucking Florida. Which is pretty white trash. It was awesome. So, there was a bar and like a bunch of other shit in this plaza. My dad like takes me in, he's like, find something else. I'm gonna go get some beer. He signed the paperwork, like he went down to the bar. My dad was drinking. So I like pretend to find something else. I was like, all right, I'll find something else. Nope.
You
Uh-uh.
got it.
I went with my idea. I was like, this is what we're doing. We'll deal with it. I'm like, what's he gonna do? Like, it's on me forever. It's not like he can take me back and be like, hey, get rid of this. Mm-mm. No
Return it.
way.
Return your
No
tat.
way. No returns, no refunds. You know what I'm talking about? So like
Yeah, I do.
the guy's name was Mike. He did my tattoo. It was about 45 minutes to an hour. I went down, got my dad, told him that we were done. My dad came back and like paid the guy. We get home. My dad's like, "Oh, let me see the tattoo." I was like, "Oh no," he said, "I gotta wash it off first. I gotta go wash it." And he was like, "No, no, no, let me see it." And I was like, "No, no, no, let me just go wash it off." He came in there when I was washing it off. Whew, whew. Hey, he was so mad. I got grounded for like 3 weeks. I was like almost grounded for a month. And the only reason why I got ungrounded is because he just got tired of me just being home. Because like when I would get grounded as a kid, I would make sure I just hung out with my parents the whole time. They'd be watching TV. I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. Like, "Oh, what are we watching?" "Yeah, this is a good TV show. I really like this show. Can you turn it up? I can't hear it." "Oh, do you want anything? I'm gonna get something from the kitchen. Maybe make a sandwich." Like, yo, I used to fuck with them. And they'd be like, "Yo, go outside." I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks, I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. Um, I didn't know you grew up in Florida, man.
Yeah, I'm from Central Florida. Right in the middle.
Oh,
Polk
that's tight.
County. Yeah, Polk County is a crazy place.
Like how? Like, what do you mean?
As in, like, it's easier to buy meth than it is to buy weed. But now
I
it's
understand.
legal. Now everything's legal there. But like 2 years ago,
Yeah, I
before
mean, like, it's,
before the
I don't know.
dispensaries, it was the meth capital of the world at one point.
How hard was it to get, what was the punishment for getting caught with bud out there around, like, the time
Oh,
you
you might
started?
as well you might as well just ran somebody over with your car.
Really?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I got caught with a roach in my hat, which first of all, I didn't even know it was there. It wasn't even my hat. It was my buddy's hat. You know what I mean? I didn't know
Yeah.
he had a roach in it. Of course, like when you're at your homie's house, like we were about to go skate, I was like, "Yo, you got a hat I can wear?" And he's like, "Yeah, take this hat. No big deal." I didn't know there was a blunt roach in it. The cop took my hat off and like was like looking all around it. And he's like, "Well,
Program.
what's this?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know, dude." Mind you, I was standing on an ounce of weed that was in my pocket and I stuffed it in my shoe. So before we got out of the car, I stuffed it in my shoe. So I was like, all right, go ahead, take the fucking roach. Like, he's not even going to do anything about it. But of course, like, because I didn't think there was enough to do anything about it. Nah, they fucking took me to jail. It was fucking
for
bullshit.
for a roach, and did they find the ounce in your shoe after?
No, I ended up getting in the back of the cop car with my buddy, and he pulled it out of my shoe, and I stuffed it in between my butt cheeks. And because I went to the youth detention center, they don't make you spread your butt cheeks there; just take your shoes off. So I just held it between my butt cheeks for 8 hours till my mom came and got me. And then when my mom came and got me, she brought my sister because my mom was so fucking mad. She's like, "You're gonna go stay with your sister for a while," and I was like, "All right, whatever." I was like 16, 17 years old. So then, like, I get in the car and I pull it out. I was like, "Yo, look what." My sister was like, "Are you fucking serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "How much trouble I would have got if they would have found this?" I was like, "I got away with the roach." I was like, "This is a whole ounce of dirt weed." Like, but at that time, it was good weed. It was what they called Zona, like, was the good man.
Damn, we never heard that term
Yeah,
over here on this side. Not on this side of the map.
yeah,
Damn, that's crazy. I've never had like a an incident where because it was never really that punishable over here in California. Like it was always
yeah.
kind of like slap on the wrist kind of stuff. Um, for the most part, every time I would have got like every time I did get pulled over and I had anything on me, it was either they would just like get rid of it, they'd stomp it out, but
Dude,
they would never like take us in for it.
and you know what I got for that roach? I got a year of outpatient rehab.
Ooh. Oh, because you're
Every
underage.
Yeah, every Tuesday I had to go to a class and sit there into this rehabilitation center. As if like, and you know where I fucked up? Where I fucked up was they're like, what kind of drugs do you do? And I was like, oh, I eat mushrooms, I do this, and like that just prolonged it even more. I was like, God damn it.
Because when you're
I thought I
young, you
was
want
being I thought I was being cool and being like, yeah, I get fucked up.
yeah
Yeah, can't tell me what to do.
yeah. When you're
Nah,
young, you
that
assume
just
you try to
dude,
give
I'm
them a
talking about
catalog of
drugs.
all your shit.
Yeah, I thought I was being cool. Nah, come to find out, nah, you didn't. I just shouldn't have told him that.
Oh man,
So
the less you say,
then
the better.
I had drug test, and then I ended up violating all that like within like a year because I was like, well, guess what? I can't smoke weed, get drug tested, but guess what? I can do? I can do cocaine. That won't stay in my system very long. So then I
That's
got in
what.
trouble. Then I got in trouble with that. Then they put me in inpatient rehab.
Damn, fuck, damn. And this is all before you turn 18.
Yep, all before I turned 18. And that was a crazy day too because like I had quit my job at Burger King and like I had just moved out of my dad's house because like me and my dad had gotten an argument and I was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. My sister came and got me and I left it there. And I didn't realize that like I left it there because I was like fucked up and like packing and I was like packed all my shit, moved it out the window, pretty much made it look like I didn't even live there.
Mm.
Um, and so whenever my sister came and got me like a couple of days later I had cashed my check from the old Burger King that I had quit and I was like, yeah, Valentine's Day, gonna go buy my girlfriend some flowers from the mall. And then I was going to the mall and I was cutting through the Best Buy parking lot with my roommate Mark Dirt and I looked over and I seen my dad's truck surrounded by cop cars and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Why is my dad outside with all these cops over here? And I'm like, oh, I'm like, yo, we gotta go back home. Like, something's about to happen. And they came and arrested me for that. And I was like, first of all, y'all can't charge me with that. Not even in my possession. First of all, my parents didn't want to help me. They pretty much just threw me to the wolves. I went to trial on my 18th birthday, facing 4 years in prison. Like the judge made sure he was like, I'm not even going to bother with putting you away now. I'm just going to wait till you're 18. He's like, you only got 6 more months. He's like, we'll drag this out. I went to court every month for 6 months for him to just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it to my 18th birthday. And the only thing that fucking saved me was me passing a drug test. I was like, yo, I was in outpatient rehab. I was like, first of all, I wasn't even living there. I was like, prove that I was living there. I was like, and how are y'all going to charge me with possession? Possession is 9/10 of the law. How can you charge me with possession? I wasn't even there.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's none.
so then they were like, okay. The judge was like, if you can pass a drug test right now, I was like, maybe. The night before I went to court, I got real fucked up, like smoking, doing cocaine's, like everything. Like I was getting
Fuck.
wild. I was like, yo, I'm about to go to prison for 4 years. Like I was 17 years old, about to turn 18. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
fucking scared. So I was
Gonna
like,
go
fuck
off with
this.
the bank.
Yeah. So and then whenever like they called me to like to go up, and I didn't have a public defender or nothing at that time. Like Google was like rarely available. I used everything I could find on Google about like law and everything, and printed everything out and just read it word for word like to the judge, and that was like the only thing that fucking saved me.
Yeah, so like what did you say that like you think might have like changed his mind about shit?
The whole fact that I gave him the whole spiel about possession
Mhm.
and about how my dad used to have a drug problem, and like how it could have been his. And like, but my stepmom was a nurse. And in that room, she was also a traveling nurse. Like she was like a caregiver and would go to people's houses and shit. And she would give like B12 shots to people. So there was hypodermic needles and all this other shit. And I was like, yo, I wasn't doing anything. Like that's what they tried to charge me with, another possession charge of like paraphernalia. And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, well, there was a spoon in your room with a white substance. I was like, yeah, because I left a bowl of cereal in there. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, y'all thought I was shooting up the cocaine? No, y'all are crazy. I was like, no way. Like, no way. And then so because of that, and then me passing all my drug tests at my outpatient rehab and me doing good there, it just all kind of led up. And the judge was just like, fine, if you can pass a drug test right now. But then he also told me, he was like, I'm not closing your case. He's like, if you do come back, he's like, I will reopen it, which I don't know if he was fucking bullshitting me or not, but I haven't been in trouble since then.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You did it the right way then, dude. And you're not even in Florida anymore, right?
No, no, I wasn't. I'm in the Carolinas.
In the Carolinas. How far away from where you originally at are you now?
Well, 12 hours.
Oh damn, that's a good amount. That's a good amount, man.
Yeah, I moved from like South Florida, like Boca. I was living in Boca for like almost 5 years before I moved here.
Damn.
And I
You
was like, they
tripped.
can just have this shit down here.
Fuck it, man. Where did you leave Florida before like cannabis was legal?
I've only been here for since March.
What's the rules out there?
I think it's illegal.
It's
They,
so weird, dude. Like I don't know like off the top of my head like what states are you're able to do it or what states you're not. I'm just like,
I, I do know that like Virginia's up next. I heard some people talking about it, like Virginia, but they all do all the what they do all lawmaking in July, don't they?
I
That's when
believe so.
laws change, I believe.
Like
Yeah.
I'm fortunate, man. Everything that surrounds us over here is pretty much legal, so we're spoiled as fuck. Uh,
Dude, you know what blows my mind? Fuck Oregon. Like they're like, you can carry meth in your pocket now and crack.
anything you can carry anything. It's all
They're like,
decriminalized. You can have a lunchbox full of all of it. You can walk with a
like
fucking a Ghostbusters lunchbox full of all the drugs, and you're good. I
dude, I
don't.
watched I watched this video. Go ahead.
I was like, I don't know exactly what the rules are like as far as like using and shit. Like, I mean, I don't think you could just use in public, bro. I know
Like,
you like you if you have some on you, they don't take you in. I know that. That's crazy. It's a different world. It's a different world we live in, man. I don't know.
yeah, like what? What's the cap on like how many drugs and how much drugs you could have on you?
I'm not sure, but I know like
Like, could you
shrooms.
just carry like a huge crack rock around and be like, "Hey, look at this. This is
Maybe there's a limit on that. Maybe there's a limit on how much is
like a
criminal and how much is not. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like what are we walking around like an
is
ounce
it a
of
couple of grams? Is it an ounce?"
Yeah, there's probably a measurement on it. I wouldn't know because we don't have that luxury here in California. We don't have that here. I know like like
I mean,
psilocybin is the
I don't
next one
I
on
don't
the
know
rise.
anybody that does meth.
Just that's like people in high school and shit, man, that just fell off. I don't know, man.
Dude,
That's not something I've
my
ever.
man, my growing up, like my brother got into it, like a bunch of my friends got into it, and like I'm just like you ain't got that much shit to do to be awake for that long.
No, man. But they
Like,
find
you
a
know
way.
what I mean? Like,
It's
shit,
just it's damaging, dude. It ruins families, man. That's not one of those rabbit holes to go down, man. This
ruins.
stay on the green. Stay on the green,
Yo,
ladies and
these
gentlemen. Is
people
what
just straight up. I don't. I wouldn't listen. I've done pretty much every drug there is, but there's no way that I would ever tell anybody that they should try drugs.
no, I would never tell anybody they should try it.
No, never.
That
Like,
has
just
to be
because I do something or did it.
it has to be a personal choice for somebody. You have to it has to be your own experience because the only person that's gonna like have the side effects, that's gonna experience it, that's gonna get the feelings, they're gonna have the doubts after or the regrets after, is the person that does it, that chooses to. So that's
Even
completely up.
like the people that say that, even the people that are like, I'm a cannabis influencer. I'm like, why would you want to influence someone to smoke weed? Like, what if they've never smoked it before? You know what I mean? And they try it. Like, yo, weed now is not the same it was in 1998.
No.
Shit is strong.
Yeah,
Shit
it's
is
trying to.
strong, you know?
It's all lab stuff now, dude. It's like how they made Wolverine, bro. Just shit stronger.
Yeah.
This is-
And then whenever these influencers show them doing it, they'll have like 20 carts in their hand hitting it like, this is what you should do. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, no, that's not what you should do. Like,
no, you should do
or
your
or they got like the leaf blowers, you know, like fucking filling up a whole house, and it's like, no, you should not do that. If you've never smoked before, don't do this.
Yeah, get yourself to a level of like crawling before you crawling before you walk before you run before you sprint, sprint before you fly. But just take your time, ease into it. Just I don't know, that's just my advice to anybody that's trying to be fucking wild with their smoking, man.
Oh, and when someone tells me I don't really smoke that much, I don't smoke with them. Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Then
I
you
don't
turn into a babysitter, and then you're like,
I,
yo, I got
I'm
shit to
fortunate enough,
do.
man. I mean, I'm not really trying to get too into your personal business, but like you're in a relationship, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a
Yeah.
girlfriend. We live together.
Does your girlfriend like does she blaze too?
Yeah, yeah. She smokes just as much as I do.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah,
happiness.
yeah.
That's happiness.
Oh
I
yeah.
personally do. I think it's actually a luxury to have a partner that can hang and smoke, man. It's really
I
fun.
don't think I could be with someone who didn't smoke, because like if you don't smoke then you don't really understand it. Like, I did date a girl one time. She had a really good job, and like she was a nurse, and she had asthma, so like I couldn't like smoke in my house if she was there. And then like I would go like in my room and like smoke a blunt by myself, and I would just be like by myself, just like smoking weed, just like. And I
Just
would
trying
like
to.
come out of my room and like watch a movie with her like all high, and I'd just be like, look at her. She'd be like, "What, are you fucking high or something?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am, but sure not." So like, you don't get it, like, you know what I mean? Like, there,
Mm,
there's like it's like a wall, you know? Instead of
yeah,
a connection, it's like a fucking barrier right there. Because
because
like
you're
when
on
you're
two
both
different
high
levels.
watching a movie, you both are like, huh, yeah, and you both look each other, You know, you're both baked, and then you both get that feeling. It's like, I'm so high, we should just look at each other right now. Yeah, I'm high too. You know? You ever have it? Sit on the couch and it's like, what are you looking at? I don't know. What the fuck are you looking at? Like, we
Yeah,
just
that's
look at
the
each other at the same time because I'm just as high as you are.
hell yeah, dude. Dude, I wanted to thank you for your time. We absolutely appreciate you stopping in and sharing with us and hanging out. I'm
No,
gonna see
thank
you in
you for
July.
having me. Yes,
Oh yeah,
yes.
I will see you in July. I'll see you in Vegas. Well, I have some stuff I'm gonna bring out to you, and
Very
yeah, dude,
cool.
can't wait to see you, bro. Everybody that's listening, watching, please make sure you guys follow Holiday Berns on Instagram. Go watch him game on Twitch. Go and check out his
Holiday Makes on Twitch.
yeah. Also, check out his link tree. I give you links to all of his fucking platforms where you guys can find him, his merchandise you guys can get. Do not miss out. Go and support. We absolutely appreciate him. Thank you for your time today,
I
bro.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Everybody, please be the reason another stoner smiles today. Don't be a piece of shit. Be kind on purpose because that shit's easy. I'm at Berns. Holiday Berns. Thanks for your time. Peace.
Thank you. Later, Gators.